Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Juniortukkie to everybody, or OP as we know it here. By the way, it's very full in here. I think the aircon is taking a little bit of strain. If you want to move to the next session, which is exactly the same, it's just delayed by half an hour, you can still do that. If anybody wants to move to the next session, nobody wants to move. I wish my students were as good as you. I have to tease them a little bit. Okay, just a little bit to start, to introduce Juniortukkie to you. The history of this faculty is very rich and goes back to the 1920s when Juniortukkie, or OP, was started by Sir Arnold Tyler, who was really the guy that started veterinary science in South Africa. As a researcher, he was employed by government to research specific problems that the country was faced with at the time. And interestingly enough, started Juniortukkie in this location because of the environment around us. So there are lots of wetlands and so on around this area, which resulted in specific diseases occurring in this area quite frequently, and made it a good place to start to study things like African horse sickness and so on at the time. Since then, the faculty was originally started across the road where the Agricultural Research Council is now situated, and then at the later stage, after the faculty was taken over by the University of Pretoria, it was split off as a separate entity this side of the road, and since then it's really just grown and prospered to quite some extent. So I think the history of this place kind of speaks for itself. The location is unique. It's quite common for veterinary faculties across the world to be separated from the rest of the university for some reason. I don't know why normal people don't like vets near them. But our faculty quite enjoys to have this space of our own with a beautiful campus, as most of you would have seen now or appreciated now already, and a really lovely place for students to have their student life as well. Speaking about that, I think one thing that this faculty, particularly the faculty at Juniortukkie, can pride itself on is the quality of our students. I do make fun of them sometimes because students are kind of a subspecies of Homo sapiens. I don't know if you know that. But we really are lucky at Juniortukkie that we have probably the best quality students in the whole of South Africa. And we are aware of that. We do make fun of them, but we are very aware of the fact that we do get the cream of the crop. And we're quite pleased about that. And the fact that we can maintain the excellent quality in our student body is something that is important to this faculty. And we will always try to strive towards improving it even further. And in our selection process, which Mrs. Slobbert will describe in a few minutes, you will see how stringent that is, and most of you will experience that in the next couple of years or in the next year. And I think what must come home to you, or the important thing, is that the real target for us is to get excellent students. Not only students that are excellent academically, but students that have the potential to become very good professionals one day, and that will contribute to the country in a positive way. That's important to us, and I think we've managed to do that very well over the last few years. You can see that in our student body. We've got fantastic students, and we like to build on that still in the future. I think the student life at OP is very special. You will maybe hear a little bit about that today, or experience a little bit of that today. We've got lots of activities that our students manage from their own side, supported by the university. Most of it comes from the student body itself, in the form of clubs and societies and other activities that they do. We also strive definitely towards having an inclusive student body at Juniortukkie. It's hard work, like it is anywhere in South Africa, and I think we're making very good progress with that at OP. Our student support, I think, especially our link with or the fact that we are a faculty of the University of Pretoria is a very good thing for us, especially looking at student support. We get very good student support from the university, which is useful at times. Our curriculum, as you know, is quite a taxing exercise, and our students do need support from time to time. The next point I wanted to just quickly mention is our teaching excellence. As our history of research excellence has got deep history going back into the previous century, the same applies to teaching at this faculty. I think we've had excellent teachers over the years. Certainly when I was a student here, I aspired to some of my lecturers at the time, and still do. Those that are still around, because I'm still quite young, hopefully, as you can see. And I think the innovation in teaching that we see at this faculty is an example to many other faculties across the world, not only in South Africa, but we do things here in new and innovative ways all the time. We change things all the time. We challenge our students. Sometimes they don't enjoy it so much. But I think we go the further way in teaching excellence, which is something that we strive towards. If you also look at the way that our lecturers are rated by our students, and compare that or benchmark that against other faculties of this university and other universities in South Africa, it's quite clear that our students rate the lecturers also very high, and we like to keep it that way. I think this faculty also showed in the last 2 years, when tertiary education was threatened to quite a large extent in this country, that we managed to stabilize the situation on our campus to quite a large extent, and we were one of the few campuses that managed to complete our academic program on time in 2016. A little bit about the curriculum. We offer 2 programs, the veterinary curriculum and veterinary nursing curriculums. The veterinary curriculum is a 6-year program that starts with the first year at the Hatfield campus, and from the second year the students come to us here at OP. They do second, third and fourth year, and the first semester of 5th year in the classroom mostly, and then the last 18 months they do clinical training in our hospital and also in satellite facilities around the country. Just a little bit about language that we need to mention, because language is often an issue. The language of tuition at Onderstepoort is English only, and it's been like that since 1999, when this faculty amalgamated with the faculty of Medusa, so that there's now again only one veterinary faculty in the country, as you probably know. And because of that, and also the fact, so in other words, we have to be able to accommodate students from across the country. And because of that, and also the fact that we have quite a significant proportion of international students at this faculty, we do our teaching only in English. Our program is also structured to accommodate or to prepare our students for their professional life, in particular focusing now on compulsory community service. So those of you that are not aware of compulsory community service for veterinarians, it is already in place. Started in 2016 for the first year, that our graduates, when they qualify from Onderstepoort, will work for the state if they are South African citizens, before they can register as professionals with the South African Veterinary Council. They will be paid well during that year, and we see that almost as a continuation of their education, because it's an important part of preparing a veterinarian to work in this country and to make a significant contribution to society in this country. Having mentioned the South African Veterinary Council, our programs are both accredited with the South African Veterinary Council. They set quite a high standard for the teaching that we provide, and they monitor what we do on a continuous basis. So there are some of our modules monitored every year at the faculty, and they do look at us quite stringently. At the same time, we've got accreditation also from 2 international bodies. That's from the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons in the UK, and also from the Australasian Veterinary Council's board in Australia and New Zealand. So our veterinarians that qualify from here are able to register in those countries without doing any further examinations, which I think also says something about our standard, and the fact that we have international networking through our research as well as teaching supports the fact that we are at that level internationally. I don't know if there are any questions at this point. All right, thank you very much.